Alright, today I'm going to show you how to make Bakewell Tarts, and we need two types of flour. We need plain for our pastry base, we need self-raising for our sponge mixture, and we need caster sugar, butter or baking spread, an egg, and jam for our filling. Do make sure you know what's what when it comes to your ingredients, because it's very easy to get them mixed up. Here you can see I've got my plain flour and my butter for the pastry base, which are the larger amounts. And here I've got a bit less flour, which is the self-raising, and less spread, which is for my cake mixture, and also sugar. So it might help at home to obviously weigh this out, as always, to save yourself some time, but also to have it clearly labeled so you know which one is which one. Oven gets preheated to 180 degrees, which is the symbol with the double line, and 180 on the temperature dial. Starting with our pastry base, we're going to add the plain flour to a large bowl and our butter or baking spread. The rubbing in method, where you use your fingertips to rub the butter into flour. Then when you have a crummy consistency, you can add a tablespoon of very cold water. Give it a mix with your palette knife, and then use your hands to see if this comes together as a dough. You see mine's forming lumps, but it's not quite sticking, so I'm going to use another spoon of cold water. And there we go. If it comes together in a ball, take away your bowl, knead it lightly, not too much, otherwise your pastry base will be very chewy. Squash it flat, ready to be rolled out. Mine's not sticky at all, so I don't really need to flour my surface, but if yours is very sticky, you might just want to flour the surface slightly. Use a rolling pin to roll it out, middle to edges. And if this sticks, put a bit of flour on your rolling pin, like so. Then use a pastry cutter to cut out circles. Peel away pastry from the edges. Use your palette knife to loosen these from the surface. And then place them into your bun tin. Press down in the middle. Right, I've got 10 out of my first one. My leftover pastry, I'm going to squeeze into a bowl and try and roll out again. It will start going a little bit flaky, so you can probably only do this once. Then you can use the same bowl. If it's really dirty, you might want to give it a quick rinse. And you add your self-raising flour, sugar, butter or baking spread, and your egg. Mix all of this with a wooden spoon. There we go. This is what we're looking for, no lumps. Now, for your jam filling, you only need about half a teaspoon per Bakewell tart. And it's best if you have your jam in a little bowl. Stir it to loosen it a little bit. You see now it's a bit more runny and I can more easily put it in my cases. And you only want about half a spoon. Otherwise, what will happen is the jam, when it starts getting hot and boiling, will come out through the top of your sponge mixture and make a hole. Spread these out a little bit. I'm going to make this one really full so I can show you what happens when you put in too much jam. All right, and then lastly, we're going to put a bit of sponge mixture on top of each of our pastry cases. Use 2 metal spoons so you can pick it up with 1 spoon and then use another one to scrape it into the cases. You don't really have to worry about evening this out because as soon as it goes in the oven, the mixture will obviously go runny and it should cover all the jam in the base. And then these go in for about 15 minutes or until golden brown. Bakewell tarts coming out. It's been 15 minutes. And now, as you can see, they're golden brown. The pastry's cooked. And here's what I said about putting in too much jam. You can see it's come out the side. Now we're going to let these cool for a couple of minutes. And then obviously you might take them home and then put your icing on at home. Now these should come out the tin quite easily. If not, you might just have to loosen them a little bit with a spoon. Now this you'll probably have to do at home for time reasons, but let me show you how to make the icing to go on top of our Bakewell tarts. So only need a little bit of icing sugar, and then add 1 teaspoon at a time. Stir that in. What you don't want to do is pour water straight into the icing sugar because then 99 out of 100 times it ends up being too runny. And then I might just need another couple of drops, and so far that's only been 2 teaspoons. Then what you want is an icing that runs off your spoon but isn't watery. And then about half fill your teaspoon with icing. Start in the middle and then go round. And there's our Bakewell tarts.